Rudy Telscher. I am a partner with Husch Blackwell. I'm also on our firm's executive board, and I co-chair our firm's artificial intelligence committee. I think Tony and I are the same age. We both, grew up in St. Louis together, and young lawyers. I remember when I was a young buck lawyer out there. He was at a competitive firm. We've been kind of contemporaries for a long time, so I've known him. It's probably 30, 35 years now. If you wind up in a case against Tony, you're not going to like it. You know that you're in for a fight. Tony's a guy that if he has a good case, he knows how to try a case, and lots of lawyers don't know how to try cases. And it's surprising to people that they meet smart lawyers, and maybe even a lawyer that has some gray hair, and they're thinking, this person seems smart. In a courtroom, it's different. So there's lots of smart lawyers out there, very few that can try cases. Tony is one of those guys that can try a great case. He knows how to relate to juries. So I've known this about Tony for a while, and when he switched to pure contingent cases, you better be good or you'll be broke, right? So that's what you're gonna have if you're not good. And as it turns out, Tony and the Simon firm, but Tony in particular, and IP contingent litigation, it just needs lights out. There's an art form to handling contingent cases. And again, to put a little teeth behind what I'm saying, Tony was my first call. So when I had some big cases, I'm like, hey, how do you feel about co-working a case together? And Tony and I have now co-worked several, probably 4 or 5 cases together throughout the years when I have a big contingent case. He's the guy I go to. Before Tony even went to the Simon law firm, I was wanting to learn how to try cases as a young guy, and somebody gave me good advice. They're like, go to the courthouse and watch good trial lawyers try a case. So I did. And it turns out it was John Simon. One of my good buddies who's a plaintiff's lawyer said, this is a guy, he's trying a case right now, big case, you gotta go watch it. And he was magic. Firm, as I said, is well-funded, which is important. They take on some of the biggest companies in the country. I know Tony's taken on companies like Apple. And when you go up against companies like that, they have lots of lawyers, they're willing to spend lots of money, they will bleed you if you're not well-funded. And the Simon law firm, they win, they've been around forever, they're not going anywhere. And if I had a case, that's who I'd go to for my case.